you very much for being here this morning, allowing me to be here. This is really a very special time. I'll give you a little bit of background on who I am, so that you can actually understand why I think that I should be your next county executive. I've been an executive for the last 30 years. I've been running a manufacturing company that was formed by my father and grandfather, Juergens Incorporated, down in the old Collinwood Railroad Yards. My father went to Collinwood High School, dropped out of high school, and demonstrated that if you work hard and pull yourself up, you can make good things happen. And so what I did is not only do I commit to being an executive, but I commit to the neighborhood, and I commit to being part of that neighborhood. Because when it came time to put our building and our business and grow it for the next 30 years, I put it right in the center of Cleveland, right in Collinwood Yards. For those of you who remember Collinwood Yards, we kicked the drug dealers out. We cleaned up the 50 acres, and today Juergens is employing people from the neighborhood because my passion, my desire, my life goals is to create jobs, to grow jobs for the community, to be part of the neighborhood, to walk those neighborhoods, to know those families, and when you come and see what we do, we actually have that impact out there. What we do is, I also believe, and you can see it not only in my conversation, but you can see it in my actions. You can see, not as a job creator talking about it, but as a job creator by action. You can see the inclusion, you can see our workforce, you can see the team together, you can see the fact that Second Chance is not a conversation, it's an action by Jack Schron. You can see that when you go forward, that what I have a desire to do is to be that person that can create those jobs, not just for a select few, not just for a part of it, but for the entire county of Cuyahoga County. And when you look at the workforce, when you work at development, where I've committed, I want to create that vision that my father created when he dropped out of high school and said we can do better, because I know that every person has that heart and dream within their heart to do better, and I know by bringing together the entire county as your job creator, I will do that. Thank you. I'm ready for your questions.
What is the single most important issue you would address immediately after taking office, and how?
Well, the single most important issue, actually, I hate to say it, because I'm not a politician, so one of the things I've just been involved with the county council for these first 4 years, is there actually are two major points. One is job creation is the key to building the success for our county, because a job creates the foundation upon which we build the family, upon which we rebuild our community, upon which we rebuild our entire county. But at the same token, we as county government, we are running a $1.3 billion government with 7,000 employees, and we want to make sure that an executive understands how to deploy those assets for the best interest of those in need in this county. So we not only have to improve how we deliver the services, but we also need to have the creation of a job for the foundation, because those are integrated one to another.
You're the second person that asked a question before we could ask it, so I'm going to go to another one. What should be done, if anything, to increase transparency related to government spending?
Well, as far as government spending, all you have to do is go look and you can see everything I've done. You can see all the actions. You can see where I file my information. I have nothing other than a full-face transparency out there. But not only transparency for what I've done, but to correct the problems that we were left with. When we took over on January 1st, you heard some of our colleagues come here as county council people, and we are proud of what we did, but we need to finish the job of transparency. We need to make sure the Inspector General is an independent office. We need to make sure that we actually create these as nonpartisan offices. I actually put forth legislation to suggest that these should be nonpartisan. Why? Of our 59 communities, 56 are all nonpartisan elections. Why shouldn't the highest office in the entire county be a nonpartisan? To, again, bring that transparency, because when you talk about voters not participating, 50% of our voters are independents and don't affiliate with any party, and yet they're not really being brought into the true inclusion of what we're talking about. So that's the transparency that I want to finish the job of.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to, it didn't get asked, but I want to answer it this way, because the question of what is the most important thing, or what is I've heard that question being asked, and that was probably one of those ones. It wasn't that I spent 28 years in the United States Army. It was not that I spent time committed to national service. It was not the 12 years on public school board that I invested in. It was not working for the 30 years to grow and develop jobs in Collinwood High School. In Collinwood, it was not the scholarships that we do at Max Hayes. It was nothing about that as far as that, but those are all part of who I am and who I consider to be my highest achievements. But my real high achievement has been the foundation that my grandfather gave to me, my father gave to me, that being a faith-based decision of life. My grandfather was a Presbyterian minister, would preach one sermon in English and one in Hungarian for 50 years right down here in Buckeye. It was that you set that foundation in your heart. That's the compass that says, I want to be part of this community. I want to be part of working with the women, the men, to make a difference in our county. I want to make sure those jobs are out there. It's that fundamental foundation. And so the highest thing that I was able to do was spend 44 years with the best woman in the world, my wife of 44 years, and to raise 3 children so that I can set that same moral compass for the next generation, for my 4 grandchildren, because that's what we're all about. We're laying a foundation not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but for the next generation as we go forward. All you have to do is go down there and look at what we did at Collinwood Yards. See that we kicked the drug dealers out. See that when I went on there was nothing but dead animals, trash, and today the food bank sits next to Juergens. Today the Cleveland Clinic sits next to them, and we went in there and committed not only to the town, but to the community, and to say that not only am I here for you, I'm here for everybody, to create jobs, not to talk about it, but to build that foundation for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren in the next generation. Thank you. I hope you can remember Jack Schron when you vote, and I would love to have your endorsement. Thanks for allowing me to be here.